Hey everyone, today I'm going to draw a red panda. I'm using a reference image again. I'm going to start off drawing the outline color of a tree branch that it's going to be laying on. The picture I'm using has him laying across a tree branch in a bundle of trees, so I'm just going to base it loosely off of that. I'm gonna just sketch up the basic colors of those. Not gonna be very neat with that just yet. Then I'm gonna take some orange and start sketching in the shape of the body. And I'm going to take a darker, less saturated orange-brown color to do the legs. And then I'm going to blend that into the body back and forth to make a gradient because their legs fade into the lighter color on the rest of their body. Now I'm taking a light orange, kind of on the yellow side, to do some of the highlights on the head. I'm saving the ears for after this step because they're going to be bright white, so I'm going to layer them on top. I'm going to just fade that highlight into the face there and onto the tail as well. And also we're going to add on some of that darker orange back to the tail for the stripe. Now I'm adding in the white for the ears. It's not completely white, it's just got a little bit of orange in it, but basically white. Just shape those in. And the fur extends a little bit below the ears as well. And we're going to add in dots for the eyes. And following your reference, just shape in that white. Add in some white for the nose. And the mouth. And now we're going to take that dark leg color for the nose and block that in, and use that same color for the eyes as well. And then take the same white that you used before, add that in on the cheeks here. And we're going to take a lighter cream orange and fade that in from the white on its cheeks into the orange on the forehead. And then blend that into a highlight. Then we're going to take a darker orange similar to the legs and blend that in at the bottom of the cheeks here where the orange is, just to add a little bit of shading. And now we're taking the darkest leg color and blending it into the ears here, fading it out into the white in a gray gradient. And that'll give some dimension and depth to the ears. We're adding the shadow here for where the legs are. And some shape to the log where it's laying on. And now I'm just going to start getting into detailing a little bit of the fur texture using the colors that are already in place here. I'm going to add some stripy highlights onto the back of the tail. and onto the back fur. Now we're just adding a forest green to make a mossy color on the log, just to make it look a little bit more natural. And blending that in with a little bit of a lighter mossy green. Keeping this rough. Adding a little bit more definition to the face here. I jump around a lot when I do paintings. I get bored of one thing, so I move to the background and vice versa. Adding in some detail fur. And the mouth. The eyes. Now some reflections for the eyes and the nose. Blending everything together. Now I'm adding some shadow under the legs where it meets the log. Blending in shadows under the face as well. Adding in some definition to this stump here that sticks out, where he's got his head resting on. And a little bit more moss. I'm gonna end up changing up this moss here. I don't really like the way that it looks just yet, but we'll fix it. Adding in some shadow. And some shadow underneath the tail. And a little bit of a darker orange just to define the shading on the tail, where the stripes are. And now we're adding in whiskers, my dreaded enemy. Just always got to keep doing these ones until they look right. And now I'm just going to be blending back and forth all these colors here that are already on the logs, just to make them look a little bit more detailed. And just finishing everything up and adding in some darker lines and definition. And I'm just blending in this shading here under the tail. Don't be afraid to experiment with some of these colors. If it looks muddy, just paint over it. That's the beauty of digital art. This is why I do not use real paint. I have before, and I totally can, but it gives me anxiety out the wazoo, and I do not enjoy being anxious when I create art. Digital art allows me to experiment and mess around and blend colors and see what I can make up. I used to only do black and white pencil drawings before I started doing digital art. I mean, I did a couple paintings here and there, but only for art class in school. I never really touched color outside of that until I got a pen tablet, because I was so scared to mess up the color and ruin all my good hard work. But now I've got a way to do this. Maybe one day I'll try real paint. Just finishing up some of the details here with the moss and the texture on the wood. And just finishing a little bit more shading on this tail here. Finding the edges of the fur. And I would say that that is about done. I really had fun doing this one today. Again, I don't really try and make it super detailed. It's still kind of messy and painty. But I love Red Panda, so I had to try and paint one. Hope you guys like this one. Again, if you like my stuff, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's definitely going to be more coming soon. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.